Get down!
My back, Bee! This is how we stop them. You've got me. And I'm not going anywhere.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Time for the Real Everyday Movie Fan. I'm, of course, Josh Williams.
And I'm Ryan Murphy.
And thank you so much for joining us here today. Merry Christmas to everybody who is watching this. I am hoping you're having a fantastic holidays. We're taking time out of our holiday time to give you guys a review. And we are giving you our real-time review of Bumblebee.
That's right. Bumblebee is directed by Travis Knight and stars Haley Steinfeld, Jorge Lindeborg Jr., and John Cena, of course, with the voice of Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, and Dylan O'Brien as Bumblebee.
Nice.
Before he gets all frazzled. Anyway,
before we get started real quick, guys,
okay.
make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you like our content so you receive more of our content in the future. We got that out of the way.
Sales pitch. Go ahead. I want to
Sales
hear
pitch.
your
You got
thoughts.
it dang right to sales pitch.
I want to hear your thoughts first.
My thoughts first. I'm a little nervous about him because he hates Transformers movies, but he loves the beloved Gen 1 time frame.
Sure.
I like the first one. I think this was a home run for Transformers.
Okay.
I love this movie. Haley Steinfeld was great.
10.
The score I'm giving it is a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
9 out of 10. I love this movie. This was a great coming-of-age tale, not only for Haley Steinfeld's character, but for Bumblebee's character as well. They say in the film, this is not really a spoiler, but he's fairly young in this time frame as far as himself as an Autobot. And I thought it was a great, coming-of-age show, both of them. A great story of friendship and family. Family can be, in many forms, and they portray that very well. And and one thing I loved is it's stylistic choices Travis Knight made that were way different from what you get from the Michael Bay series. And I'll go on some more things here, but I loved it that way. Like, he actually was able to make chase scenes visually stunning, but also just make it interesting. Because a lot of times you watched Michael Bay's chase scenes and they were very boring, where these ones had a good story to them, had a good action sequence. And I'll go on more and more. But what about you? I'm really anxious to hear your score.
I am going to give this movie a 3.5 out of 10.
Oh my God! What is wrong with you?
This is kind of a train
Transformers
wreck.
will never be good for you.
I
will
mean,
they?
well,
this
it
one was
depends
a
on if they
home
make.
run.
It
Oh my
depends
gosh.
on if they make a good movie. This
Okay,
is just
so what
a
was wrong with this
stupid
one?
movie.
Oh my God, no.
So the first good thing is if you're a Gen 1 fan, the opening scene of this movie is like you will be sexually aroused. I mean, the opening scene of this movie is just like the you get Generation 1 Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, Wheeljack, Soundwave, Shockwave, Ravage. I mean, it's just like they hit you over the head with it, and it's just awesome. I mean, you look at what they're doing, and it's like a $50 million. I mean, the budget for the movie is more than this, but this one scene is probably a $20 million version of that little drawing of the background on the 1984 screen with the let's get this stuff to the home base, Wheeljack. I mean, they take that and they basically make it the exact same thing, but with $20 million spent on these massive CG effects, and it's just awesome. And then Bumblebee comes to Earth, and then stuff stops being awesome. This movie is just... now, the other good thing about this movie is that the official Transformers syndrome is over. Transformers syndrome is what we talk about the first 5 movies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, Last Night. These movies, one after the other, just would not stop with the stupid jokes from beginning to end. There's probably more screen time spent on dick and fart jokes than there was on Transformers blowing stuff up. I'll never forget, I always say there's three or four really surreal moments of my life of sitting in the theater. And one of those was at Revenge of the Fallen in 2009, when the mother spends 2 minutes of screen time running around the college high because she ate a pop brownie. It has nothing to do with anything else.
That was very stupid.
And that goes on for 5 movies, and I've talked about Transformers syndrome with other movies, like Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, a lot of other action films that come across where the filmmakers are just trying way too hard with the comedy.
But this one
does not suffer from Transformers syndrome. There's a couple of moments where it's okay, that went on too long, or that was unnecessary, but it's nothing compared to the Michael Bay films. So that's good. Unfortunately, not suffering from Transformer syndrome does not mean the movie's not stupid as heck. This movie is, from a writing standpoint, kind of a train wreck. You can actually see the writer.
It's basically E.T.
You can actually see the writer saying, okay, I want to randomly have a character here, but I don't have anything for them to do, so I'm going to take them out here, and then I'm going to put them back here to make it seem to certain audience members that this whole thing was organic and flowed. But in fact, it doesn't. Like, the whole Jorge Lindeborg, the whole Guy character is the most unnecessary character, and you see that. Like, it's like the writer, Christina Hodson, who's writing Birds of Prey, which I'm not excited for. I wasn't excited for before. I'm even less excited for now.
Most people would disagree, but okay.
Yeah, he likes to throw stuff like that out there.
You know.
But yeah, I just like he comes in and like it's like, hi, I'm a character for you to talk to for the next 5 minutes. Then stuff starts happening. He immediately leaves, gives a random excuse for his exit, comes back in. She's not really supposed to be going on this mission with Bumblebee. It doesn't make any sense for her to do that. And then she goes somewhere else. It's just, if you actually watch it, if you actually watch the movie with anything resembling a keen eye, it's just so obvious that this movie is trying to justify its own existence. It doesn't really even have really an adventure for Bumblebee to go on. The whole concept is like, well, we have to have something for him to do, because the first like hour and a half of the movie is just like misadventures. Oh, they also make Bumblebee look like a complete moron. Bumblebee in this movie has the brain power of like a head traumatized chihuahua. I mean, this is supposed to be like a warrior from Cybertron, and he is like, and he's always acted like a doofus in the movies. But this one, it's like, wait, this guy actually is. I understand he's had his like memory damage and stuff like that, but is he supposed to be just like a very, very like not functioning on the same level as the average fourth grader? Like, this is just not like, because you hear him talking for the first 10 minutes, and it's like, oh, this is a real character. This is an actual person with, complex thoughts and, motivations. And then after he loses his voice, he also loses his everything else regarding brain power. So it's like, yeah, don't even want to get into it. Characters come and go as the plot requires. The plot itself is very much trying to justify its own existence. I've never seen a movie that more tried to that more existed for the sake of being that film, like a Bumblebee spin-off film, and then had to try and justify its own existence within the framework of the film. I've never seen a film that does that more than this. Other films, okay, maybe they had that idea because it was a franchise. Like, we have to make this movie because it's part of the franchise. We have to make the spin-off. But once you saw the film, at least, it flowed in and of itself. This movie, you can actually feel it trying to say, we need to have this Bumblebee film. The whole idea, so after the first hour and a half of Bumblebee acting like a doofus and, wasted screen time with this guy that serves no purpose, he'll just leave as soon as other stuff starts, we finally get something something resembling a plot of these Decepticons are going to call the other Decepticons to Earth. That has to happen for any further films. So, spoiler alert, he stops them, obviously. I mean,
Come on, man, you don't want to spoil anything for people.
Oh, yeah, because, sorry, good guys win. My bad. So, like, it's like, what was the point of that even? Like, it's just dumb. The filmmakers never can seem to make up their mind whether or not these beings are impervious to machine gun fire or whether or not they can be defeated with chains. Oh, and the best part is, like, there's a scene where Bumblebee is injured in this movie. And it's, I mean, everything in this movie just happens to get to the end. Nothing is actually thought out. The plot isn't thought out. Obviously, there's no, like, it's just trying to justify its own existence with these Decepticons plot. The characters are just put in there to be, marketable, and then there's no point for the guy being there. And then there has to be a point where Bumblebee gets injured. It makes no sense. It makes no sense why he's left there. He has no lasting injuries from this. He's back to square one. He's back to 100% within 2 minutes. It's just, the whole movie just falls apart. It's just stupid. And, I mean, Haley Steinfeld's charming at the very first, when the movie starts. Again, the first 5 minutes, Transformers fanboys wet dream. Everything Michael Bay never gave us. We go on Earth, we meet Haley Steinfeld. She's a charming enough character. They meet. We think we're in for a good film. That's a good setup. Okay? Everything after the setup is basically garbage. So, yeah.
Well, many minutes later, and sorry, folks, for the film that's been spoiled for you for most of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good guys win. Yeah, my bad.
Well, besides that, I actually will disagree with a lot of that because how they set up the story of what happens to him losing his, why he can't talk is set up really well, explains very well, and even when you think of how his mind works with why he can't, function or be a warrior or anything like that, I thought that was actually explained very well, and things that transpire toward the end of the film where he's able to fight again, to me makes logical, perfect sense when you think of a robot.
It
does.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Also, human characters learn extremely valuable information about the Decepticons' plan through messages sent in English. My favorite part.
Okay. But besides that, I will admit that I didn't really care for the male character much. I think it could have not done with any kind of forced love romance. I feel like that could have been taken out and been fine. But that was really my only negative. I thought this was a great coming-of-age tale. I thought it was a good, well-rounded story that explained itself quite well. I don't want to go into spoilers much of it at all. And I thought the ending was set up well. And I even think that this movie, there's an end sequence, there's an end credit scene, where if this movie does well, and this financially and critically, because right now it's at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes with over 100 critics who have reviewed it. And I think if this movie does well, this could be very easily done as a soft reboot, because they do reference some things from the very original.
It's a reboot. They make that very clear at the
end.
And
I hope
at the very least at the end.
Yeah, at the end, I hope that's very true. It almost inclines it could easily be a reboot completely, which I am perfectly okay with. I am so done with the original franchise. I'm ready for something new and different, and I will highly recommend you check this out. I actually honestly thought out of all three of these movies, Aquaman and Mary Poppins, and this was the best film of the weekend. And even then, I gave a positive review with Aquaman, and the Mary Poppins review will be coming up very soon as well. So if you want to, I don't think he can recommend the whole film, but if you want to stay if you're a Gen 1 fan, and you want to stay for the first 15 minutes, you'll enjoy that, I guess. I don't know. Can you recommend anything? Yeah, because I got stuff out of it. But I would recommend it. You guys check it out.
Library when it comes to the library and watch it. Watch the first 10 minutes that way.
But check it out with your family. I think you guys will highly enjoy it. But that'll do it for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching. More importantly, what did you think of Bumblebee? Leave your comments section below. Let us know whether you liked it or not. Give us your positives, negatives, and your score out of 10. Also, if you like what you watch, like I said, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can receive more of the various content in the future. Like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Stardust. The links are in the description below as always. That's all we have for today. I'm Josh Williams.
And I'm Ryan Murphy.
And thank you for keeping it real.
With ReelTime.
Merry Christmas, guys.